I knew he was there. He has always been there, in my mouth. No one believed me until one day I got him and showed him to the world. There he lay, writhing in agony, after I poisoned myself to root him out. But as I lay dying, he will die with me. Obsessive, suicidal are the words that have been penned about my incident, but it matters not to me. I got him. How many of him are there? Do we each have one? I believe so. Now I have proof. Gremlin. That is who I call him. Ugly, grotesque, stings my body like a scorpion, gnashing my flesh with his teeth, killing my nerves as he hammers them to death. So much dead tissue in my teeth, so many root canals. He is the cause of my high blood pressure. He is the reason I cannot hold down a job, why I cannot hang on to relationships, why I cannot live a normal, stable life. It is he who torments me. He is the embodiment of self-actualization in the most hellish way. There is no other way to describe it. He has lived with me since birth, growing as I grew, performing more acts of misery each year, doing more damage, until one day I said, enough. I know you are there. I will prove it. I will root you out. Then I will kill you, even if it kills me. He hides so well. All my series of dentists, who also cracked up when I explained to them about this gremlin, couldn't find him. He bounced around all my molars, bicuspids, wisdom teeth, avoiding the slightest hint of light. No mirror could capture him. Perhaps he was a vampire as well. He was the bane of my existence. I swear he has swung off my tonsils numerous times, causing me to cough uncontrollably. People thought I had gotten sick or something. How could he slide all the way down my esophagus and into my stomach without being eaten by its acid is a mystical, befuddling, really. It is the existential question that is most befuddling. Why was he with me? What was his purpose? Was it simply to torment me? Did he epitomize a scorpion in the tail with the frog? Because he was what he was and he did what he did and nothing else? I would like to think not. But my propensity to search for meaning as a human led me further down the rabbit hole of madness. He was the one doing the massive eating, causing me to overeat. For all this time, I thought I had an overeating disorder. All those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches I ate in grade school, all those cookies, the extra burgers and fries, tons of soda, it was at least half him. A half him. That is an appropriate name. Well, half him caused me to lose social standing. A lot of ridicule. Years of heartache. With all this extra blubber at my disposal or at my burden. How could such a tiny thing consume all that he consumed? Incredible. He ate through all my relationships, all ending with, "What is wrong with you? You need to see someone. There is no one else but you. It has always been you, not some monster inside of you. You are the monster. There is no other explanation for your erratic behavior, but you have some sort of condition, bipolar or whatever else it is, and your refusal to see someone demonstrates your unwillingness to deal with it, cope with it, and move through it." I tell them, why don't you look inside yourself and see what's going on with you? I am your mirror. There is a gremlin in you too, and if you don't believe me, well, I never had anything to follow it up. Then the door slammed, and again, I was alone. You bastard. Happy? Now it is you and me again. I can close my eyes and hear the howling laugh, the demonic chuckle, the ghoulish grin salivating from ear to ear. You love to see the slow demolition of me, like the shelling of a village. You want me to experience the fire immolating me over and over again. You relish in the dull throbbing torture of not knowing when you will erupt inside of me with your antics and cause me to emit the most vile, disgusting words out of my mouth, juxtaposed with the sobbing, pleading for forgiveness and the anguish of standing in the middle of the room while others stare at what I have just accomplished. Social self-destruction. Do you have Tourette's? No, I don't. Then why do you curse all of a sudden and without warning? Dude, during work? Yeah, I have. I have gone through jobs like kids go through shirts. I don't have any semblance of a career track. I might as well be a hobo jumping from town to town on the train because keeping anything stable is an obstacle course, and I have a plethora of broken bones to show for it. If only I had a high IQ, 180 or something, then they would call me eccentric. Of course, I would have to produce something worthy, something of note that could justify my impetuousness. I would have to have a handler who can conduct my administrative affairs and clean up my messes. They would be sweating it out as they apologize, reschedule, tidy, and read all the books and go to all the seminars to get the best strategies on dealing with people like me. Is there such? Of course, I'm a regular like a pair of pants off the rack at Walmart. I am in the basket in the long line waiting to be rung up by the cashier, who thankfully has a job because no one else could deal with their lack of customer service skills. Their only job is to ring stuff up and not steal anything. There I lay, regular and waiting, to be worn by bump-ridden, unshaved legs, and I will wear regular and unnoticed until I do something stupid like go up the crack of their ass and open their fly. This gremlin is so tactical and unnerving, and I have read so many books about them. And it seems that they would fit the narrative. So how is it that he has eluded sight all these years? I have gone through multiple injuries, stomach aches, fevers, flus, diarrhea, just about everything you can think of that a body could endure, and yet it still lives. Never dreaming of flushing itself out of my system and entering another innocent body. Am I kidding? Am I really innocent? What did I do to deserve this, other than being born? The chicken and the egg. Did I begin to become evil and then have him showed to accompany me? Or was I innocent and he came to make me so? I would like to think the latter, but I could have been the demon child, so I don't know. Now, I don't think I was adopted, and my parents never told me I was. And according to the array of photo albums and stories, I look like them. But maybe not after all. Maybe I was born of a jackal, and my biological mom was the unwilling vessel. It would be much more of a plausible explanation that I am being prepared for something bigger. I just have to wait for it to unfold before me. I read somewhere that researchers discovered that we eat bugs when we are asleep. I think half him eats them and dances around like he's around a bonfire and perhaps doing an Irish jig. I think he is immortal and has an encyclopedia of cultural knowledge and sits comfortably on my tongue when I am asleep, retelling old tales while he smokes his pipe and gnashes his sharp yellow teeth, his green eyes flashing in the dark. I have no idea what he looks like, but since I read all the gremlin stories and seen all the pictures, that is the image I'm going with. It was cold that morning. The frost felt like it was penetrating the windows. We just had a blizzard. I had enough junk food to last me a few days, so I did not have to go out of my studio apartment. I started feeling a jabbing in my mouth. It was bizarre. I never felt such a sharp drumming. What was he doing? Was he trying to penetrate my brain through the roof of my mouth? All he had to do was to go through my nostrils and drill my brain. Give me a lobotomy. That would be the end of it. No more pain, no more broken sleep, broken dreams, broken life. I could just exist somewhere in a white room staring out at fertile landscapes. I was 42 by then. 6 cycles of 7. Maybe that was a part of the 666. I was born on June 6. Maybe this was it. It was time. My coming was coming. I must get ready. But wait. There is no way eking out this meager existence that I was going to be the second coming. Not in this dingy apartment that I can barely hold on to, where I have scraps for furniture and no company to keep it in. I am not hanging by a thread. I am the thread, worn and frayed. There has been no preparation for me. By now, I would be owning a company or an ambassador like Damien Thorne in the Omen trilogy. I would be polished, neat, dark, handsome, and possessing the persuasive powers of a cult leader. I would be the son, ready to receive my father. No. This is the half-him ready for my final doom. The final conflict. Well, no conflict, just the final doom. He is ready to finally obliterate me, and some young hipster can take over this apartment and convert it into some art studio and vape and make obscure paintings and talk about nihilism. Yep, my time is up now. I can feel it. But what if the gremlin jumps out of me upon my death and terrorizes some other poor soul? What if another human has to suffer through what I have suffered? I cannot let that happen. I must not. What can I do? I could stab myself, but the half-him is almost microscopic, or so I think. He would escape. Shooting won't work either. Besides, I have no money for a gun, and not even to purchase illegally. I could drown myself, but he's an adept swimmer. Plus, he has built up an immunity to acid, I think. Ha! Poison myself. That's it. Bleach? My mother loved bleach. She disinfected everything with bleach. All the bathrooms in the kitchen reeked of it. So if you entered my parents' home, you would get the initial whiff of furniture polish, potpourri, and then you would smell the bleach. That would not be enough. It's too slow of a toxin. But if I combined it with ammonia, that would do the trick. Yes, amazingly, I have both. As horrible as my place looked, it never smells. I keep the chemicals that keep it that way. Off to the cabinet underneath the sink I go. As the gremlin pounds at the roof of my mouth, making my steps shaky, I crash to the floor on my knees, pray before the cabinet doors before I open them. This must be it. I grab each bottle with each hand, ambidextrously opening them, reeling back, lifting my head to the gods, and opening my mouth wide. With a courage and determination, I pour both into my gaping mouth, coughing intermittently, but continuing to pour. Then I see rat poison in the corner. I feverishly grab it and pour into my mouth as well. Then the common, then that non-labeled bottle of something or other. I am fetalized on the floor. I am done. I am vomiting everything but the child of God. Who is the child of God? Are we all children of God? Who is God? Is he coming home for supper? Where are my toys? Is that my organs dribbling out of my throat? What is that grayish thing with blue eyes laying before me with no ears and a tail? That's not a gremlin. What is that? Is that an extraterrestrial? It stares at me, contemptuous and hateful. I have done it. I have expelled him, and he cannot go any further. Half him is no more. I am paralyzed. I cannot call 911. I wouldn't if I could. 42 years of torture is enough for me. I have lived my purpose. I have saved the world from this thing. Time to check out. Strangely, Days later, as my body starts to stink, and the landlord turns the key, opens the door, and is met by the stench, covers his mouth as he yells and storms out of my apartment to call the police, I am aware of everything. I am dead, right? How come I am aware? How come I am aware? What did have him leave me with that I can be conscious after death? I cannot imagine what I look like with all the poison coursing through my body, destroying all my organs, all the blood vessels in my face purple and gross. Will I be like this for the rest of my days? An aware yet decaying corpse? Maybe I will be put into the ground, only to rise like a zombie. I don't want that existence. No matter how romanticized it is in pop culture now, I don't want to be here. I completed my mission. Let me go. Maybe there is some mothership that will collect me and transform me into something else, or extract my consciousness and place me into another sleeve. I saw the series Altered Carbon. Actually, that would be cool. And on top of that, it would be some lowly common person receiving such a gift, not some rich aristocrat. I am well suited into a body bag. The ride is relatively smooth. One of the paramedics is joking on a cell phone about getting some live action after dropping off my corpse. My skull is being opened up by the medical examiner. He says something like, "Poor guy. I bet he never knew he had a brain tumor." Figures. But I saw what I saw. Maybe that thing gave me the brain tumor. Did he ever think about that? No. He doesn't believe in gremlins or anything monstrous. No one does. They just make up stories about them. This one, I don't know what it was that I killed. All I know is that I am inside this metal shelf, but there is some huge blue light coming through as a door opens. My body bag is floating through the air. I hope that my sleeve looks like some famous person.